hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here, and Alistair has this goofy helmet on. That's because, well, it's the best helmet we have for him right now, so I went ahead and did that. I equipped him with a couple other upgrades that we had. I still don't know if the borrowed longsword is different or better. That shield needs 22 strength. When he gets 22 strength, I'm going to end up forgetting about that shield. I don't know if the borrowed longsword that we still have is better than the sword he has.
The Mabari's stable for now, but not improving. Unless I get that herb I told you about, there's not much hope.
Oh, well, we have that.
Let me see. Yeah, that's exactly it. Wonderful. Here, give me a moment and I'll make this into an ointment. He looks better already. I'm sure he'd thank you himself if he could.
Well, good. Yeah, what happens now? I prefer thanks in the form. Well, let's see if we can get.
Isn't it worth something to save a valiant hound's life?
See, this is why I don't like any of these choices now.
Let's give him a day or two to recover.
Okay.
Why not
we'll
come back
then.
after the battle? Perhaps we can see about imprinting him on you.
Imprinting him on me?
Maybe. It's likely he understands you're responsible for curing him. Mabari are at least as smart as your average tax collector. Come back after the battle and just...
I don't know if
Well,
that's
take another
supposed to be a
look.
compliment to the dog or an insult to the tax collector. We won't ponder that too much. Hey, we have that treasure key. But anyways, so our borrowed longswords, so we're standing on top of the treasure. That's wonderful. How can you even open the treasure when you're standing on top of it? Whatever. There's a few minor goodies in here. So the borrowed longsword says it has like +6 attack, but it has like lower damage or other armor piercing and whatnot than the sword that Alistair currently has. And I don't know what's going to carry more weight, that and the
Hello
+6
again.
attack,
Is there something
or
you
the
need?
sword that
Some
Alistair
supplies,
currently
perhaps?
has.
Let me know what you'd like.
So it always ends up being a bit of a guessing game for me how some of the stat modifiers actually work in Dragon Age. And I don't necessarily know what's better and what's not, so I just kind of go with what sounds better. That's probably not the best way of doing things. Alright, what do we have here? And also another thing I'm going to start doing, like between episodes and whatnot, or maybe even as we go along, if I get stuff and it ends up not being good, I'm going to just try to immediately move things to the junk. That way when I go to the shop, I can just immediately sell all the junk items and then progress with buying from there. And maybe that's a way that I can still show like most of the shopping and comparing and stuff, because that's the interesting part, is when we like compare the
So you
inventory and
returned
stuff.
from the
But
wilds.
having to
been
compare
successful?
with what's currently in our inventory is
Good.
not something
I've
I
had the
really want to
circle
do.
mages preparing. With the
Duncan's
blood you
talking. I should
retrieved,
probably
we
pay
can
attention
begin
to
the
this
joining
conversation,
immediately.
huh? Yeah, we met Morrigan.
There was a woman at the tower, and her mother had the scrolls. They were both very... odd.
Were they wilder folk?
I don't think so.
Yes.
They might be apostates. Mages hiding from the Chantry.
I know you were once a Templar, Alistair, but Chantry business is not ours. We have the scrolls. Let us focus on the joining.
Yeah, he's got a good point. I figured Duncan would
I
mainly
will
just
not
care
lie.
that we got the scrolls
We
back.
Grey Wardens pay a heavy price to become what we are. Fate may decree that you pay your price now, rather than later.
This sounds like death.
As could any darkspawn you might face in battle. You would not have been chosen, however, if I did not think you had a chance to survive.
Let's go then. I'm anxious to see this joining now.
I agree. Let's have it done.
Then let us begin. Alistair, take them to the old temple.
All right, and this is a part that's going to get really
The more I hear about
creepy.
this joining, the less I like it.
Are you blubbering again?
Why all these damn tests? Have I not earned my place?
Maybe it's tradition. Maybe they're just trying to annoy you.
Again, this is also one of those things. It doesn't matter what
I only know that
conversation
my wife
options
is in
we
Highover
pick.
with a
It's
child
going to
on the way.
progress.
If they had warned me, it just doesn't seem fair.
Would you have come if they'd warned you? Maybe that's why they don't. The Wardens do what they must, right?
Including sacrificing us?
I'd
got a-
sacrifice a lot
Davis
more if I
has
knew
a
it
good
would end the
point.
blight.
Yeah, we'll go with
You saw those
Davith
darkspawns
on this
tonight.
one.
Wouldn't you die to protect your pretty wife from them?
I...
Maybe you'll die. Maybe we'll all die. If nobody stops the darkspawn, we'll die for sure.
I've just never faced a foe I could not engage with my blade.
We also see Jory's point. Like, he
we
would
come to the
probably
joining.
rather die fighting the
The
Darkspawn
Grey
than in
Wardens were
this little
founded during
joining
the first
ritual.
Blight, when humanity stood on the verge of annihilation. So it was that the first Grey Wardens drank of Darkspawn blood and mastered their
We're gonna
taint.
drink
We're
Darkspawn blood?
Going to drink the blood of those
I,
creatures.
okay, so the first Grey Wardens, how did they
As the
think
first
of
Grey
this?
Wardens did before us, as we did before you.
How did they come up with this idea?
Is the source of our power and our
The source of
victory.
your power. Now,
Those who survive
the-
the joining become immune to the taint.
yes,
We can
become
sense
immune
it
to the
in the
taint,
Darkspawn.
and they can sense
Use it to
Darkspawn.
slay the
But
Archdemon.
seriously, who thought of doing this? They're like, you know, we're fighting against these
Not all
Darkspawn.
who drink the blood will survive.
Maybe we'll
and
gain
those who
powers
do
by
will
drinking their
forever
blood.
change.
And
This
everybody's
is why
like,
the joining
yeah,
is a
yeah,
secret.
let's do that.
It is the price we pay. We speak
who-
only a few
who thought
words
this was a
prior
good
to the
idea?
joining. But these words have been said since the first. Alistair, if you would.
This is more like cult-like
Join
behavior
us,
here.
brothers and sisters. Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. And should you perish, know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten. And that one day, we shall join you.
Davith, step forward.
Also, this scene is a bit odd as well. Well, it's also very creepy.
Maker's breath.
I am sorry.
It's like he's being strangled from within.
Step forward, Jory.
But I have a wife, a child.
There
Had
is
I
no
known...
turning back.
No, you ask too much. There is no glory in this.
I mean, why not just let Jory go back home if he really doesn't want to be there?
I am sorry.
Okay, how did blood get all down Duncan's back from that? He stabbed him from the front. I know Dragon Age
But
likes
the
its
joining
blood
is not yet
splatters, but
complete.
that's ridiculous.
You are called upon to submit yourself to the taint for the greater good.
Okay, so after we witnessed what we just witnessed, we're just gonna, you know,
From this
casually
moment
go ahead
forth,
and do this.
You are a Grey Warden.
And so this also seems odd about this scene. Like, Duncan kind of knew we survived the drinking. Ooh, that must be the Archdemon. Cool. And scary. So he must have known that we
It is
survived.
finished.
But how did he know that when he took longer
more
to
deaths.
evaluate Davith's death?
In my joining, only one of us died, but
And we still
it
passed
was
out too, apparently.
Horrible. I'm glad at least one of you made it through.
How do you feel?
I get that you know, he wanted to keep the joining ritual a secret because they don't tell anybody like what it's actually about. And I suppose if he let Jory just go back to his
Jory
wife
was
and
warned
kids,
that there was no turning back, as were you all. When he went for his blade, however, he left me no choice. It brought me no pleasure to end his life. The Blight demands sacrifices from us all.
yeah, I'm not fully buying this,
Thankfully, you
Duncan.
stand here as proof. They are not all made in
Like, I
vain.
get that you want to keep it secret,
have
but
dreams?
maybe just make a pact with
I
him
had terrible dreams
to
after
not
my
go out
joining.
and talk about
Such
what the
dreams come
joining
when you begin
is.
to sense the Darkspawn, as we all do. That and many
And then
other
just say he
things
wasn't
can
cut
be
out for it.
explained in the
Also,
months to come.
how did Duncan
Before
end
I
up
forget,
recruiting
there is
him to
one last
begin
part
with
to your
if
joining.
he...
We take some of that blood and put it in a
Because he was
pendant
acting kind of cowardly in the wilds,
Something
too,
to
like he didn't
remind
want to
us
fight Darkspawn.
of those who
Like,
didn't
hello,
make
what
it
did you
this
get
far.
recruited for? So I don't know how Duncan ended up picking him
Take
as a
some time.
recruit
When you're ready, I'd like you to accompany
when he
me
was
to
kind
a
of
meeting
cowardly
with the
like that,
king.
you know? Yeah, I know I'm talking over top of these
The meeting
people,
is to
but
the west, down the stairs. Please attend as soon as you're able.
just some thoughts and reactions I have to all this. And like the whole, our eyes went white there, or rolled back in our head too, just like Davith. So, I mean, that can't be a sign that Davith didn't make it and we did, because that doesn't, I don't know. But we actually have 4 points here this time on this level up. I'm going to go 3 dexterity and 1 cunning. We're going to need more cunning coming up, but I know we need to get up to like 35 or 36 dexterity. I'm just going to aim for 35 at this point, and I can put the other point in, you know, when I need it. And then we're going to just dump a whole mess of skill points into cunning for the lethality thing. I'm not going to use stealth. Stealth is actually not on my list of things to get, which is kind of why I like this build. We're going to get combat movement. It's a passive. That's the one that I told you about that gives us the thing. And we got the momentum. So those were like the next 2 things on my list to get. We do have to get below the belt, but I'm not in a super rush for that. I think that'll be the next level. And that says we received items, so I'm going through here and looking at all the items, and apparently he just dumped a whole bunch of weapons and armor on us, like just some generic early game type of stuff. I don't know why, because we found a lot of these things like 5 times over already. I guess maybe it's just for like, I don't know, like if you have the dwarf noble where you're like left with almost nothing. But even still, we would have had to have gone into the wilds. We would have gotten a bunch of early equipment drops from there. And it would have been smarter for Duncan to give us this treasure trove before sending us out into the wilds. Again, I don't know. We do have a... And I'm just moving things to the junk. We do have a talisman that we can equip. I think I might have already equipped it. Yeah, when some of this is going on, sometimes I just kind of stare off and just ramble about my thoughts. But I still think, even though, you know, Duncan really held fast to that there's no turning back thing, I still think, you know, you could have let Jory... You didn't have to kill Jory like that. You've been like, okay, you know what, you don't want to be a Grey Warden. We'll put you in the King's army for now, because they're not all Grey Wardens. And you fight the battle at Ostagar, and then we let you go home. And just left it at that. And, you know, Jory might have agreed to that. I don't know, but... there's not much we can do about Duncan. He's kind of the leader of the Grey Wardens here.
We can speak more after the meeting with the king.
Alright, meeting with the king, which was actually, like, straight ahead. Momentum. I activated it, and now I'm all blue and misty and glowy. I'm actually running around a little bit
Hello
faster.
again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps?
The only problem with these sustain modes is
Let
that
me know what
when
you'd
they
like.
create an aura around you like this, that aura persists in cutscenes and talking, and sometimes it just looks really weird and distracting. So I'm probably going to turn off momentum when we're not in combat, and try to turn it on like just before getting into combat. Notice how it's using up half our stamina bar, and that's kind of what these sustained
Welcome, Grey
modes do.
Warden, and congratulations on your success.
I took your treasure. I don't need any of this from you.
Goodbye.
Yeah. And so it'll just permanently be using that amount of stamina to sustain our sustain mode. When you regenerate stamina, if you have your sustain mode activated, it's only going to regenerate up until that certain point. I think also you can only have one sustained mode activated at a time. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Also, I've never used momentum before, but the character build I was looking at like really bragged about it. So what it does is it increases our movement speed, lets us hit, faster, which would in turn let us deal out more damage.
Loghain, my decision is final. I will stand by the Grey Wardens in this assault.
You risk too much, Cailan. The Darkspawn Horde is too dangerous for you to be playing hero on the front lines.
If that's the case, perhaps we should wait for the Orlesian forces to join us after all.
I must repeat my protest to your fool notion that we need the Orlesians to defend ourselves.
It is not a fool notion. Our arguments with the Orlesians are a thing of the past, and you will remember who is king.
How fortunate Marek did not live to see his son ready to hand Ferelden over to those who enslaved us for a century.
Then our current forces will have to suffice, won't they? Duncan, are your men ready for battle?
They are, Your Majesty.
And this is the recruit I met earlier on the road? I understand congratulations are in order. Every Grey Warden is needed now. You should be honored to join their ranks.
Your fascination with glory and legends will be your undoing, Cailan. We must attend to reality.
Fine. Speak your
Fighting the
strategy.
Darkspawn is
The
kind
Grey
of
Wardens
reality.
and I draw the Darkspawn into charging our lines, and then?
You will alert the tower to light the beacon, signaling my men to charge from
To
cover.
flank the Darkspawn, I remember. This is the Tower of Ishal in the ruins, yes? Well, who shall light this beacon?
I have a few men stationed there. It's not a dangerous task, but it is vital.
Then we should send our best. Send Alistair and the new Grey Warden to make sure it's done.
I mean, we could try to debate. It won't matter. They're going to send us on there anyways. So I'm going to do what he
Rely
says.
on these Grey Wardens too
I don't
much?
have a reason
Is
to
that truly
question
wise?
that.
Enough of your conspiracy theories,
I mean, if that's
Loghain.
what they want us to do,
Grey
that's what we'll
Wardens
do.
battle the Blight no matter where they're from.
Your Majesty, you should consider the possibility of the Archdemon appearing.
There have been no signs of any dragons in the wilds.
Isn't that what your men are here for, Duncan?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, the tower and its beacon are unnecessary. The
We
circle
will
of
not
Magi...
trust any lives to your spells, mage. Save them for the Darkspawn.
Enough! This plan will suffice. The Grey Wardens will light the beacon.
Thank you, Loghain. I cannot wait for that glorious moment. The Grey Wardens battle beside the King of Ferelden to stem the tide of evil.
Yes, Cailan. A glorious moment for us all.
Very uneasy battle meeting there. Cailan just seems to be focused on the glory, like, oh, we're going to win, it's going to be great, and
You and Alistair will go to the Tower of
it's a
Ishal
battle.
and ensure the beacon is lit.
Like, save the celebrations and the
battle.
glory talk for
This is by the King's
afterwards.
personal request, Alistair. If the beacon is not lit, Tern Loghain's men won't know when to charge.
So he needs 2 Grey Wardens standing up there holding the torch, just in case, right?
Well, let's talk about the
The
mission.
tower is on the other side
I don't
of the
agree with
gorge from the
Alistair.
King's camp, the way we came when we arrived. You'll need to cross the gorge and head through the gate and up to the tower entrance. From the top, you'll overlook the entire valley.
Alright, and when are we supposed to light this thing?
We will signal you when the time is right. Alistair will know what to look for.
Okay, sure. Can we do, what do you want us to do after that? And
The battle is about to begin. Once I leave, move quickly. You'll have less than an hour.
by the way, there's
Stay
no
with the
actual
Terran's
time
men
limit on
and
this.
guard the tower. If
At least
you
I
are
don't think
needed, we
there
will
is.
send word.
Let's just say there's no time limit on this.
We soil our drawers, that's what.
If it does, leave
I
it
love
to us.
Alistair's
I
response.
want no heroics from either of you.
Alright, well,
Then
those
I
are
must
our
join the
orders.
others. From here, you two are on your own. Remember, you are both Grey Wardens. I expect you to be worthy of that title.
Duncan, may the Maker watch over you.
May he watch over us all.
Alright, new quest over at the tower, and I think we've wrapped up all our other quests around here. Although it would have been really smart for me to check on that and just like open the quest log and check on that before doing the thing. I don't actually do that, I just go do the thing. I do check my inventory, that's a smart thing to do before going, right? Because I don't think we had Alistair for the moment. Yeah, that's... Oh, Alistair leveled up. See that little thing by Alistair's portrait? I know that means he leveled up. I'm not that incompetent at this game. I know it's been like almost a decade since I last played it, but has it really been that long? It really has been that long. But I know it's supposed to, and I didn't know why I wasn't getting level up. You have to go to, I was in the wrong area. I was in the equipment area. We are making a beeline towards Taunt. Because we want Taunt to draw enemies away from our rogue and our mages. We gotta get one more level up before we can actually get Taunt, so... Okay. Alright, well where the heck am I even going? I'm supposed to go over there. Which is not up here, or is it up here? Oh, this looks cool. Not up here. I get so lost in these 3D places. I'm so bad at that. I get lost in like 2D maze-like areas, I get lost in 3D areas. Just in general, it doesn't even have to be a maze. And cutscene activate. It was actually a pretty cool cutscene. It's raining, or as I like to call it, a free shower. Hey, there's the dogs. Is that the one we saved? It'll actually become really hard to tell in a moment.
The plan will work, Your Majesty.
Of course it will. The Blight ends here.
Oh, we have quite a decent-sized army here. And here come the Darkspawn. That is a lot of Darkspawn. Oh my. That one looks more like a zombie. The brain showing and all that. Oh my. And then they have those big giants in there too. That is like way too many Darkspawn. Nice. Very bloody battle already. My question is, why don't the archers just like keep going with their arrows? Like, we only see the one round of arrows. Oh, the poor dog! I didn't want to see that. No, I guess we hear more archer sounds, and then there's these suddenly lots of big flaming boulders coming and smashing our towers. I hope that's not the tower we have to get to. All right.
The bridge and get to the Tower of Ishal.
Yes, but let's do that next time.